Hi everybody, welcome to our second May Mega Brain Kids Club program. Today we are going to be making mixed media art. If you've never heard that phrase before, in art a medium is what you use to make your art. So pencil and paper, oil on canvas, whatever. So the plural is media. So mixed media art just means art that is made using a variety of different techniques and materials. So that's what we're going to be doing today. We have a lot of stuff provided in your kits for you, but I encourage you to look around at your house and see what else you can find that you can add to your art piece to make it even more interesting. So the first thing that I am going to do is, there's a piece of paper in here. It's just a piece of a book that was weeded from the library because it fell apart. And I am just going to put that on the background of my canvas. You'll actually have wood in your kits, but we have these little canvases. Just to add some interest in the background. And it's easier to do that part first, I found, so I'm just going to do that real quick. And I am working with a mix of glue and water, like you would if you were making like paper mache or something, or decoupaging something, because that just makes it easier to stick. I'm just going to apply, let's scoot that over, a thin layer of it on here. I'm going to slap my paper down. I'm going to put it in the corner. Why not? I'm going to be covering most of this up. And then I'm going to put more glue over the top of it so I can stick more stuff on top of it and so it stays down really well. And you can do this literally however you want. There is no wrong way to make art, especially mixed media art. So if you don't like something, you can cover it up or take it off. Or you can do whatever you want and just keep going until it looks the way you want it to, really. So, remove that unevenly just to make it a little more interesting. I should have put down a paper plastic tablecloth or something under this. Especially since we're going to be using acrylic paint, which doesn't wash out very well. So you will probably want to do that at home. Do you want to get the wide shot or the overhead? So now I've got that on there as kind of a background. I'm going to go over it with some paint. And I'm actually going to mix some water with my paint. I have a little cup here of just plain water, not to be confused with my glue water. And I'm just going to mix it with some of my paint because I think it gives it kind of a fun texture and it helps it spread more, and then you can kind of read the words through it if you spread it thin enough. So I'm just gonna mess around with that and see what I like. And see, when I spread it out you can still see the words, but they're hard to read, but you can tell that they're there. That's kind of what I want. And it mixes in with my glue water that's still sitting here on top, and that is fine by me. The same thing with some blue. Got a little purple mixed in there, but that's okay. Again, if I didn't like the way this looked, I could just wait till it dried and go over it again. Or put some more paper over it, or really whatever I want. See where it bleeds on the edges of the paper? That looks kind of neat, I think. So let's see what else we have in our kits. Ooh, we have bubble wrap, and I'm going to use that to kind of make a stamp and see what that ends up looking like. I might have to wait for this to dry a little bit, but we will see what happens if I don't. Use green for that, why not? This is really just a fun way to experiment and see what different things look like. I'm going to use my smaller paintbrush, and I'm just going to kind of paint my paint onto my bubble wrap here. Or you could dip it in there, you can do it however you want. Yeah,
try and dip it.
I'm just going to set it down, tap it kind of lightly so it doesn't get squished all the way down. Ooh, and see, it was still kind of wet, so it left kind of these little white spots, but I think that looks kind of neat, actually. You can try that on with an unpainted part. I wonder what it'll look like. Yeah, I might need to wait for this to dry a little bit more, but now we know what happens. downstairs looking. Ooh, it looks like leopard spots.
Yeah.
And also in your kits you'll have some different printed papers. There's some stuff we cut out of magazines. You might have some origami paper that's different patterns. So yeah, there's a lot of different ones. You can just find colors and patterns you want. You can rip them or cut them into little shapes. I'm gonna rip this one. It's got kind of a cool floral pattern. And it's kind of a corner. Let's stick it up here and see what happens. And you can paint over it or leave it. And you might need to get more than one little cup of water to keep your brush clean in between colors. It gets dirty pretty fast. And my colors are kind of running together, so I am going to let this dry for a little bit and then come back to it. And I'm going to, so you can see my floral pattern, I'm going to kind of get some of that paint that I accidentally brushed over the top of it. Okay. So I let this layer dry and then come back and add more over the top of it. Okay, now that I've had given it a little bit of a chance to dry, we're going to keep going, so I am going to put some more stuff over the top of it. It's still a tiny bit wet, but it should be okay. So, let me see what else I've got here. I have, a cotton ball. So you can do whatever you want with this. I'm going to try to kind of spread it out and then dip it in my paint and put it on there and see what that looks like. You could just stick the cotton ball on there. You could really do whatever you want with it. But this makes kind of a, some of it's sticking anyway, but I kind of like that, so. Maybe not that much. Try that. And look around your house and see what else you've got that might make a fun print on there. Just make sure you get permission before you go dipping things in paint. And I'm gonna cut some letters out, or a question mark, out of my magazine thing here. Use my glue water for that. And you can, like I said, there's no rules really for this. You can make it completely abstract. It doesn't have to mean anything or anything like that. You could make it, like an abstract landscape, or you could cut out words or pictures that go with a theme or something if you want to. Or you can just slap stuff on there that you think looks cool until you like the way it looks. That's kind of what I am doing. So there is a lot of different ways that you can do this. I wonder what I can do with this string. I am going to try to dip this string in paint and see if I can make a cool design with it without getting paint all over my hands, preferably. Use this paper, just kind of hold it down. See what happens if I pull it out. Ooh, it made kind of a little swirly thing there. So you can try that, or you can glue the string on there. You can dip it in more colors and see what happens. You can try different kinds of string if you've got other ones at home. Maybe orange and purple on the same string wasn't a great idea, but ooh, I'm making a huge mess, but that is half the fun. Taylor? You kind of sticking with a blue and green and purple theme?
Yeah, I'm keeping it kind of cool winter colors. And then now I'm just trying to get all of the white space that I don't like covered up. But I will probably leave one or a couple white spaces just because I like the look of it.
I'm just cutting out random shapes out of this pink that I found. I don't know if I have the theme. Taylor's is a lot more cohesive than mine with her theme. I'm just putting whatever colors I want on here. But I've got a lot of pink and purple, which I think is kind of neat. So What else we got? Oh, I put some crepe paper in your kits also. We used this for Manga Club when we made paper dolls because the strands kind of look like their hair. So I'm going to see if I can make that a stamp, kind of like I tried with my bubble wrap a little bit ago. Let's use this turquoise. Rinse out my brush again. Just gonna really lightly paint over it so that it gets on the tops, but not all the way in little crevices. Alright, let's see what that looks like. Go right here. Again, I'm just gonna tap it down, pat it down lightly, and like I did with my bubble wrap, so I don't squish it flat. Oh, that kind of worked. Made kind of a lot of little lines. If I pushed it down harder, maybe it would do. Let me try again. A little bit different.
I soaked my yarn in paint, and now I'm just gonna kind of set it down and kind of let it dry for a couple seconds, and then I'm just gonna pull it straight off.
Well, that looks neat.
So I've got kind of a little...
Kind of looks like the snow on top of your mountains in the
Yeah.
magazine picture you have there. I'm gonna try my bubble wrap again now that it's had a chance to dry a little.
Okay.
Let me see, what else could you do? I did a practice one. I stuck some buttons on it just for fun. You could find a marble and dip that in paint and roll it across your canvas or your wood and see what that looks like. Try things in the kitchen. A fork or something might make a cool pattern. I know I used my mom's potato masher once when I was a kid to stamp in clay, and she was not thrilled because I didn't ask permission. But that might look cool in paint too, but don't be like me and ask permission. Sorry, Mom. Oh, see, that worked. That works better now that it's dried. The lower layer. If you wanted to, you could draw an outline like a snake and put that in there. That would make kind of a neat texture. What else I got? Ooh, I have some green. So yeah, really, you can do whatever you want with it, and you can keep going until you like the way it looks. Like I said earlier, if you don't like something, you can just slap something else over it or paint over it. Just keep messing with it, experimenting, seeing what works and what doesn't. And then if you want to, when you're done, you can keep it. You can make a way to hang it out. I just glued a piece of string to the back of the other one that I made and hung it up. And you can make a little title card for it if you want to give it a title. And you can put your name on it and say that it's mixed media on plywood. Ours is on canvas. But it'll make it sound like a real piece of art, which it will be. Well, that's about it. Thank you for watching. We hope you try this at home, and we'd love to see what you come up with. You can tag us on Facebook or put them in the comments of this video. Thank you very much.